Hey YouTube, we're back again this week for another video portion of the Daly Dose Sports Podcast. Hope everyone out there is doing well. Hope you're all staying healthy and, doing well in your life. Hey, this week on the show, well, the show actually hasn't started yet, so we should probably go ahead and get the show started. Let's jump in right now. Wednesday, October 20th, 2021, you are listening to the Daly Dose Sports Podcast, and I am your host, Clint Daly, coming to you from the Mile High City here in Denver, Colorado, and we are back for another week of talking sports with a dose of common sense. Hey, happy Wednesday to you. I hope your week is going well. Hope it's off to a good start. Hope you and your family and your friends are all staying healthy out there physically as well as mentally. And sometimes maybe more so mentally is what I'm concerned about. But you know what? We have a very important birthday that took place today. Because it was back on October 20th, 1931, that one of the greatest baseball players and one of the most beloved baseball players in history was born. He played his entire Major League Baseball career from 1951 to 1968 with the New York Yankees as a center fielder, a right fielder, and first baseman. He was one of the best all-around players and one of the best sluggers ever. He is regarded by many as the greatest switch hitter in baseball history. You know, so many times in sports, we have such short memories, and we look at guys and we say, this modern version is the best we've ever seen. It's better than anything else from those olden days. And I'm reaching a point in my life now where I see modern players, and instead of just vaulting them right to the top of every single list, I now look at players and I say, well, this modern day player is actually just kind of the evolution of that player from a former era. I mean, Nikola Jokic isn't brand new. We've seen this before. He could be more of a modern day Arvydas Sabonis, though. Running back Derrick Henry, he's not the first giant running back that looks like a man playing against boys. I mean, we saw that with Jim Brown back in the 50s and 60s. And for as great as Los Angeles Angels outfielder Mike Trout is, we've already seen a version of him too. And his name was Mickey Charles Mantle. He was born on October 20th, 1931 in Spavinaw, Oklahoma. Mantle was one of the greatest offensive threats of any center fielder in baseball history. He has the second highest career on-base plus slugging percentage among center fielders. Second behind, guess who? Yeah, Mike Trout. And he had the highest stolen base percentage in history when he retired from the game. In addition, he had the highest World Series on-base percentage and World Series slugging percentage. So he was doing it in clutch times. He also had an excellent .984 fielding percentage while playing center field. Mickey Mantle was able to hit for both average and for power. Now, off the field, Mantle was a bit of a partier. He loved drinking, and in fact, he battled alcoholism, which is what ended up taking his life at the age of just 63 back in 1995. But Mickey Mantle was a 20-time All-Star. He was a 7-time World Series champion. He was a 3-time AL MVP. He won the Triple Crown in 1956 when he led the major leagues in batting average with 353, home runs with 52, and RBIs with 130. It's very rare that we ever see anything in sports that's completely brand new. Today, in this era, Mike Trout is absolutely amazing. But make no mistake, Mickey Mantle did do it first. Hey, if you'd like to contact the show, maybe tell us your favorite modern day athlete. That has probably already been done before. Hit us up on email, dalydosesports@gmail.com, or go find us over on Facebook or Twitter. Both of those handles are at Daly Dose Sports. Maybe you've got a question. Maybe you've got a comment. Maybe you need a little advice. Feel free to drop us a line. We would love to hear what you have to say. Also, make sure you're stopping by dalydosesports.com at least once a week to check out some of the new stuff that's going on over there. Of course, we put a link to the podcast. We put a link to the YouTube video. We have links to Daly Dose gear over there. But we're also putting up new articles every single week. I am putting up a Daily Doses article, which usually deals with some local subjects, and it's a very, very quick article. This past week, I talked about what is going on with the Denver Broncos. Who is to blame for their sudden struggles. But that's not all. We also have young Jimmy posting a new article every single Thursday. This last week, he actually power ranked the teams that are remaining in Major League Baseball. Some very interesting stuff going on at DailyDoseSports.com. You need to make sure you check that stuff out every single week. Speaking of that Daily Dose gear, as long as we are all doing that online shopping, be sure to stop by tpublic.com and pick up some Daily Dose gear. Got a number of designs over there for you to choose from. You can get standard Daily Dose logo gear. You can get Daily Dose basketball, Daily Dose football logos, couple of different things to choose from. But the cool thing about ordering from tpublic.com, you can get a hoodie, a sweatshirt, and a t-shirt in any color that you want. Be sure that you're stopping by over there. Maybe you need a new coffee mug for that desk. Stop by tpublic.com and pick up the Daily Dose gear that you need in your life. Okay, YouTube, be sure that you go out and you check out the rest of the podcast this week, because this week on The Dose, we are actually taking care of a little business. And so we have a Daily Dose from the past for you today. We are flashing back to a Daily Dose from 2015. The Houston Texans were actually being featured on HBO's Hard Knocks. Some interesting things going on over there. The New England Patriots were signing a wide receiver that was well past his prime. Kind of look back at how that turned out. USC head coach Steve Sarkisian was getting himself in some serious trouble. Then we were kind of previewing the 2015 college football season by looking at a few under-the-radar teams and a few quarterback battles that were taking place prior to the season. Couple of names and a couple of people over there are going to be very, very familiar to you. We switch over to the NFL and we look at some preseason injuries. Plus, we have some very important tips for fantasy football players. I know we don't talk a lot of fantasy here on The Dose. You might want to check out this episode because we do give some fantasy tips. Finally, we count down the top 5 most devastating NFL preseason injuries of all time. So make sure you go over and you check out the rest of the podcast. I will leave a link here in the comments on YouTube for you. Hope you all are doing well. I will see you all next Wednesday. Have a great week, everybody.